So the GNA concept as such is still being debated, and no consensus has been arrived on this, and this has not been discussed in the commission also. But this is the market which we have perceived as a result of the market design which we had conceived for the power sector, which has not developed on that line. And there we had expected there will be competitive bidding, there will be long-term contracts, but and there will be aggregate generation capacity being added. So we had conceived a design that there will be long-term open access, medium-term open access, there will be a short-term open access, and the development of the transmission line will be on the lines of the long-term, on the basis of the long-term contracts. So the regulations, CRC regulation on connectivity and open access, long-term open access, medium-term open access, that provides for firm point of injection and firm point of withdrawal. So this is the concept on which the development of the interstate transmission line was conceived. Now this is not happening. The case one bidding is not happening. Whereas the tariff policy says that for the transmission expansion, the prior agreements with the beneficiary would not be a precondition for networks. So there is a conflict. Case one bidding are not happening because of the variety of reasons. And we have come to know that there is apathy on the part of DISCOM to enter into a long-term contracts. So what to do? What should be the way forward? How to develop the ISTs? Generation is coming. If you see the snapshot of the connectivity and long-term access, you will find that a lot of generation capacity, the interest has been evinced, and there is a lot of connectivity application, there is a lot of long-term access. But the long-term access, if you remove the long-term access granted prior to 2009, perhaps you will come to know that the long-term access has not been applied for the quantum for which the connectivity has been taken. So earlier the connectivity was going concurrent. So in this concept, what is the way forward? So GNA is one option. This could be a one option where, because major concern of the transmission licensee is to how to have his investment recovered. That is the major concern. And at the same time, there is no provision for seeking connectivity by the DISCOMs. So this is one thing which I think we had to correct, and probably this could be taken care of. The second is that the GNA, once you have the commitment, then what is that we should encourage to enter into a long-term contract. Because the short-term is fine that one can think of a developing transmission system on the premise that if the generating station is coming, it will stay there for 20, 25 years. On that premise, one can see that the transmission system, but who will pay for it? So in that circumstances, it is very necessary that the GNA should provide there should be a general network access, not only from the generator, but also from the DISCOM. So that is the crucial of the GNA concept. And the another point which I'd like to say, in that condition, the long-term access and medium-term open access and short-term access, they loses its relevance in the sense that they may be used for the scheduling of the power, but as for developing the short-term for the transmission system, they loses its relevance. The other thing is that anything which is the injection which is over and above the connectivity for which it has been sought, that has to be on premium.
Mr. Shrivastava, can we come quickly to the point of implementing issues on the GNA?
Implementing issue is that, sir,
come to that. Sorry.
GNA has to, because all of a sudden you cannot create a network. So you have to give some time for the GNA. Probably what required is that we'll have to amend the long-term open access regulation, connectivity regulation. The CRC has to recommend. Then there has to be changes in the point of connection tariff also, because in that the GNA capacity has to be brought in. And And the state has to seek they had to give how much quantity they want to inject, the point of drawal, point of injection has to be indicated well in advance. So this is how the GNA has to, draw entry is expected to take GNA corresponding import requirement as a buyer or export requirement as a seller, transfer of physical GNA at least within the DISCOM.
I
of
think a
state
third
is
edict is
possible.
coming to me.
So this is,
Please, can you kindly finish it, please?
so the GNA is a concept which can be with certain modification could be made possible. First, and the one aspect in this is the GNA, the generator has to be given an exit option, because the generation, the project may not materialize, may materialize. So
अब lobbying
like-
चालू हो गई है भाई. हाँ. For the next session, please.
and the existing LTA to a target region shall have to be
एक चीज
converted.
बता दीजिए श्रीवास्तव जी, who will pay for the GNA? If you can answer that question, and what is the payment?
Payment will be, sir, on the point
Give
of
me
the
a size of the payment amount.
point of connection charges. Sir.
Okay. What is that? What does that look like in
So
terms of figures?
the generator will agree to pay the point of connection at the injection point. And
What is it going to be per megawatt?
1 lakh per megawatt. Sir.
See, that is the figure I want from his mouth. 1 lakh per megawatt per month.
Per-
I think that is a point to discuss.